first episode of the Kahuna Cast. I'm glad to have you here. Can you believe it? Because I sure can't. So today, what do we have planned? A lot of things. First gonna be that I just want to tell you what we're expecting from this podcast and what we're looking forward to in the future. So let's start off right. This podcast is gonna be a lot of rambling, and it's gonna be talking about a lot of sensitive subjects sometimes. I'm gonna try to make it funny, as funny as I can make it. I feel like I'm a pretty funny guy, but you guys are the ones that wanted this podcast, so I really hope you enjoy it. But if you don't like rambling, and if you are sensitive to a lot of stuff, fucking snowflake, this podcast isn't for you. So, I'm not gonna take any offense to it, but you can leave. I probably don't want you here if you are gonna, bitch at me for all this bullshit. Oh yeah, swearing. Yeah, that's fucking happening, people. So, something else. I am not going to be doing any video for this, as you can probably see already. And I don't want to in the future. I don't plan to ever if I keep doing this, because I just think video ruins a lot of the magic for podcasts. I like videos in podcasts like H3H3 or the Joe Rogan stuff. But I just don't want that for mine. First, because I don't want my face out there. I don't want my identity out on YouTube. Or anywhere, for that matter. Because, I don't know, I just want you guys to respect that. Another thing is, I have to dress nice. I have to make sure my room looks good, which it fucking doesn't. And for the people that don't know me in real life, there's a big magic to that you're trying to think of what I look like, and you just don't fucking know, so cry about it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much what we're expecting from this podcast. Oh, in the comments, I am trying to keep my name separate, For now, you can call me Kahuna, alright? Kahuna. And please address me as that in the comments if you want to mention my name directly. I just don't want my name out there. Again, I hope you can respect that. And I hope for these podcasts to be anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes long, just because, people are commuting. They might put on the podcast while they're driving, or something that won't take forever to fucking listen to, like a lot of the other podcasts out there. I see podcasts that are fucking 3 hours long. When the fuck am I gonna watch that? Like, I get home from school or some shit, and I go on YouTube and I see, 3-hour podcast. Well, I'm not doing anything for the next 3 hours, so why not? And there's a lot of leeway with that, because people like to watch live streams, and they do have time to just throw it on in the background, and that's what those are good for, in my opinion. But if you really want people to listen to what you're saying, or if you want people to actually pay attention and not just have it as background noise, then I think 25 to 45 minutes is a good time marker for what podcast should be, and that's why I'm doing it. So first topic, I want to get to know you guys. I want to know how you like this podcast, and like I said, this episode is partially going to be me talking like this, asking you guys what you might like in the future, what you want me to talk about. So put that down in the comments. Because if I like the topic and I think it seems worth talking about, then I'll talk about it. It's as simple as that. I also just want to mention that I'm not going to talk about something if I don't know anything about it. Like, if you mention a topic to me, or I come across something that I think is worth talking about on the show, then I'm going to do some research on it. I'm not going to come in here blind and talk about something that I don't know. That's just not how I do things, ever. So, if any topic comes to mind, or any sensitive subject especially, then I'll go online and research it and make sure I bring proper information, no lies, no misinformation, any of that into this, and so that you guys don't get the wrong idea. And most things that I talk about are completely unbiased. I do not come in here with a preference towards anything. Court cases, anything like that, drama among the internet. I will not come in here with a bias unless I know everything about it. because that's just unfair judgment. And, more specifically, if I'm ever talking about something and, I seem biased towards it, it's either something so little that my opinion wouldn't matter, something that I recognize is completely opinionated and not fact, to where my opinion is my opinion and you guys should respect that. You can have your opinions, and that's fine, and I respect them, but you gotta respect that too. Respect goes both ways, okay? I'm not gonna shit on stuff. If I'm ever bullshitting and talking about something that like how I was saying about the 3-hour podcast. That's my opinion. That's my preference. You might like them, and sometimes I like them. It doesn't mean I completely hate all of it, okay? And if you ever don't like the podcast, you can tell me a reason why in the comments. That's why I bring it up. And, just remember, you asked for it, as you can see by the title of the podcast. This episode is literally called You Asked For It, because you guys did. And for the people out there that don't know me in real life and didn't ask for this, that doesn't apply to you. And you just don't have to watch it. You should not feel bad about not watching this, because there are so many other better things that you could be spending your time doing. Like, you could go text your significant other. You could go hang out with them. You could go listen to music. You could go play your favorite game. You could do anything else, besides listening to this. I'm just this guy that is making a podcast because his friends told him to. And it's crazy that I'm actually fucking doing it right now. It's fucking mind-blowing, Because what if this blows up? What if people like it? That's crazy to think about. That maybe in a few years' time, I might have a big following, and, another thing is, maybe in a few years, this whole podcast would be just a memory. Maybe I only do a few episodes of this because it never really catches on. And to be honest, I like doing this. So far, what I've recorded, it's fun to do. Being able to talk to people that aren't even here. And that's what I see on the internet and reviewing stuff like this, is that people don't like it most of the time because the person is scripting or reading a script, and they're not good at reading a script, so it doesn't sound like they're actually talking to the people listening. They're just talking to a microphone. And I'm not scripting any of this. If you can tell, I may have a few things in my notes app on stuff that I might want to talk about, which would go about, I talk about it, I go off on some random bullshit, start rambling, and then when it gets out of hand, I snap back to the next subject or continue talking about the subject. That's how I plan to do things within this 25 to 45 minute time frame that I'm giving myself. And, the episodes will vary differently in length based on what might be worth putting in. I'm gonna cut out stuff that might not work in a podcast setting, that I might portray the wrong idea. I might use, the wrong words at the time. And like right now, I'm just rambling about this. So let's get on to the next topic. And that topic being, what's going to happen? Or am I going to have guests on here? Am I going to have my friends come on? And, what about names and stuff? People know me as Kahuna, and I'm going to make them address me as Kahuna. But my friends, if they want their name out there or they don't care, then I'm going to call them by their name. And obviously, if they mess up and say my name, I'm going to put like an 808 fucking bleeper over it, kind of like this. Just like that. Just bleep out my name or just put in Kahuna over it. The power of editing, right? But yes, I do plan to have friends on the show. For the most part, this is just going to be me sitting right here talking to you guys. And, in the future, some of my friends have already told me that they want to come on and try to be a co-host sometimes. We don't know. This is the first episode. Depending on how this goes, or depending on the feedback, depending on how I'm feeling about it, I might have a co-host come on for the rest of the show. I have a couple really close friends that are down to do it. It just depends on what I want to do, honestly. and whether our time schedules will work for that. I I just want to say I have the best friends in the world out there, and not to get all sappy and sobby and that shit. Like, what the fuck? My friends. For those of you that don't know, I have a Snapchat and I post a lot of my opinions and sensitive topics, what's going on in the world, and I post information about it. I post my views on it and my logic behind my thinking, and a lot of people really like it. A lot of people, message me about it and tell me, hey, you do a really good job with this. And some of them have told me that I should have a TV show when I'm older, or that I should start a podcast. Like, this is where I'm at right now. I've had so many people tell me that I should do this, that I'm doing it for them and for my sake, just to have fun and enjoy it. So I just want to give to my friends out there, give my friends out there, give a big thanks to my friends out there. Whether you're listening or you're not, you never know. But thank you guys for pushing me to do this, and I'm really enjoying it. And I hope all of you out there, regardless of whether you're my friend or not, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. So, yeah. And just to push forward, I want to give a little bit of information about myself, just enough to know me a little bit, for the people that don't know me in real life out there. I'm I'm tall. I'm about 6'2", 6'3". I have a man bun. I'm Chinese and Italian, so you can probably think about what that looks like. Brown hair. I like to make jokes. I have a lot of really chill friends. I do a little bit of that herby stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I like music. I like cooking. I like doing all that stuff. And then another thing is why there's no music, in the background like there was in the beginning for the introduction. That's because I feel like sometimes people are talking and the music that they might be talking to just doesn't fit what they're saying. Like, I could be talking about something really chill and then have some really chill music on, but then I could start getting a little worked up over something and it just wouldn't really match what I'm talking about, And the reason I picked the music that I did for the beginning is because I want this to be a relatively chill podcast, a chill opening, because I'm a chill dude, or at least I think so anyway. So here's something that kind of frustrates me. When you get trail mix and you're going out on a hike or you're in a car and you're driving across country or whatever, and there's M&Ms in it, it's not fucking trail mix anymore. It's M&Ms with obstacles, and that's the truth, because that you either eat all the M&Ms first and then eat all the rest when you get rid of that sugar high and it starts tasting better, or you eat everything first and then just save the M&Ms for later. Like, it's M&Ms with obstacles, and you either do that or you're a fucking weird fucking human being and you eat it relatively differently, or you grab like a pinch of fucking like raisins and those pretzels that are always kind of stale no matter how early you open the bag, and then the M&Ms, which are like really tiny off-brand M&Ms. It's something fucking different. And this is something that I came across a few days ago. But I've known about it for a pretty long time. It came back in my memory. And the fact that, and this is a fact, this is a proven fact, for whatever fucking reason people have tried this. If you take laxatives, like those fucking, oh wow, I'm sorry about that, those really fucking overpowering laxatives, and then you go do your business and you get all that nasty stuff out of your system, and then you drink nothing but perfect sweet corn and water for the next couple days, you will shit out perfect sweet corn. Now, isn't that crazy? Now, the insides of the casings of the corn are being digested, and that's where you're getting the nutrition from, so you're not completely starving yourself. But your body can't digest that outer layer, which is why when you have corn, your poops have little pieces of corn in it. But here's the question. If you chew the sweet corn first and then swallow it, will it come out whole? That's something I need to get behind. It's crazy. Oh man, I talk about my shits way too much with my friends, and I have friends that literally just send me pictures of their shit, and I fucking hate it. Like, it's funny, yeah, and they're, it's a guy thing, I guess. I don't really know what to say, but I guess it's a guy thing. But it's just like I'll be doing whatever I'm doing. I'll be doing schoolwork. I'll be doing. I'll be playing a game. I might be recording this, and then my buddy just sends me a picture of this fat shit that he took at work, and it just baffles me that he just has these ideas. And there's no toilet paper ever in the bowl, so I guess he's just taking a shit standing up with shit ass, and then fucking turning around, taking a picture, and then wiping his ass. Or maybe he's fucking the dirty bastard that he is and doesn't wipe at all. And that's fucking horrifying to think about, So, for the editing side of this, if any of you are curious, I am making my microphone sound better. This isn't going completely raw audio, just because every microphone out there that you use, if you put it through software, whether it's a live feed software like on a Twitch stream or something, or if you're talking in a game chat, or if you're, doing whatever post-processing or post-recording, every microphone has potential to sound better. Even the most expensive microphones in the world will not sound that, as good as they could if you don't put them through some editing process. And for all these breaths that I take, I hope they don't come across as too loud, because I am trying to make them quieter. I don't want to fully get rid of them, because then it's just dead space in between me talking, and that just doesn't fucking sound right. And I want this to actually sound like I'm talking to you guys, So, they're there. They're there. But, they're obviously dampened, a bit quieter. But that's definitely going to take some time when this is completely done. And I am putting a lot of work into this podcast. I got some new headphones that are much higher quality than my old ones. I got a whole, microphone arm and a pop filter, all that stuff, so that I can be sitting comfortably, and the audio, I won't have as many plosives, which is, I'm going to move my pop filter out of the way, but this is, okay, so this is before the pop filter, and, plosives are when you go, and it's super loud. Now, right now, it's not as bad because I have my pop filter in the way, so, like air being shot into the microphone, but let me move it out of the way real quick. You can see how much worse that is compared to, whatever. And I definitely had to, go through this learning process of this audio software that I use. I'm using Audacity. It's a really good free audio recording software. And then I'll be editing this cover art that you're seeing right now on screen, in this free software called Shotcut, which I have used before for YouTube videos and editing and stuff like that. It's a little glitchy, but it's very easy to use, very user friendly, And I know I'm talking about a lot about this editing stuff, right now, and that's not really what people do in the podcast, but this is my podcast. This is the first episode. I want to tell you guys how I'm doing this and what I'm doing, and it's pretty easy to do. You talk into a microphone, you edit the audio, you might find some copyright-free music as an intro or a background, depending on what you want to do, and you can customize it to however you like it, as long as, people are okay with that and like it. I also want to say that, I just did it. I am saying and like a lot, just because that's usually how I talk with my friends. It's an easier way for me to get my point across, and when I say it fills a gap where I'm thinking about what I want to say next, and I'd just rather do that than, have a moment of silence that I have to edit out and it just doesn't cut and sound right. So I'm sure as the podcast moves forward and I get more episodes and more recording, audio files out there, fucking did it again. I'm sure it'll become less apparent and less noticeable. It will happen less frequently, is what I'm saying. And you'll have to bear with me for these first couple episodes. My grammar today, it's not what it could be. And for those of you that don't know, I am the biggest fucking grammar Nazi in the world. If you use the wrong there in a sentence, it's going to burn my eyes. I'm not going to call you out on it because I just don't want to be a fucking asshole, but, I am an asshole. I'm, in the funny way, I guess you can say. I'm not, like, just a fucking dick to you, but I'm going to be, an asshole about something if it's well-deserved. But yeah, I'm just a fucking grammar Nazi. If you use the wrong there, if you use, like, your or you, that's fine because that's just somebody texting like really quickly. But if you say you, like the letter U, every time that you say you, like YOU, it gets a little fucking annoying because what about if you have to go write a paper for a class or you have a college application, you're gonna accidentally put the letter U when you say you, and they're gonna think, oh, this kid's fucking retarded. Like, this kid they don't realize that this is a professional setting and you can't do that. It's bad. Or, like, just when, what really fucking pisses me off? When people just do stupid shit with no fucking reason. Like, if you've ever gone on Snapchat and you've seen the life hack story, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Or like the fail videos that you see all over the internet, everywhere, of people just doing dumb shit. And I get doing dumb shit with your friends, that's fine. But if it's stuff that will endanger your life, like lighting a firework off in your ass crack and possibly giving you really bad burns on your fucking ass, which is what you used to sit down every day, I'm sorry, but at this point, it's just Darwinism, survival of the fittest, There's a point in life where I realized that, maybe mass genocide is a good thing. It'd really help. Like, just Thanos snap the whole world. And it might do something good for the world. We might be left with all the more smart people, not the people that take okay, so this is what really gets me. When people are eating some kind of pasta or ramen or something with noodles, and they take a fork or they take chopsticks and then they take a bite, and then they use fucking scissors to cut it short, and they don't slurp it up or use their teeth to bite the rest of it off and let it fall back into the bowl. Like, I get, not being able to take a huge bite. You might have put a little bit too much on your fork, and you take that bite and you realize, oh, I can't fit this all in my mouth or I'm going to choke. Then you use your teeth to bite it off and then put it back in the bowl. But people are putting out life hacks and telling other people to do this. Kids are really impressionable. But, between the ages of like 5 and 11, 5 to 12, they are very impressionable because that's when they're learning the most from their peers, from people who are older than them, people that they might think of as idols. And seeing stuff like that, wow. Kids should not be on the internet. It's just a fact. There are so many bad things that could happen to a kid's brain or a kid's well-being when you expose them to the internet. And it's true. It's just, it fucking rattles my mind whole day and night. And, moving on. I was talking to my friend the other night. She was talking to me about just random stuff, whatever. We were just talking, and I brought up the podcast to her, and I told her that I was asking a few of my really close friends if they wanted to be on the podcast, and she was one of them. And I asked her, and I was like, "Oh, you could have a false alias. We could change your voice so you sound like a dude." And if she's listening right now, which I'm sure she is, she said that she's interested in the podcast. Tanisha, your fake name. Yes, Tanisha. Hello. It's good to have you on here. Good for you to be listening. And for my other friends, like I'm just gonna call him OJ for right now. Some of you in real life might know who he is, but OJ, he's gonna come on. Oh, what's up, my dude? OJ. Fuck shit. You guys won't understand. It's a thing that me and him do. Just good friends. We have a language. So, what's good, brother? Smoking that dope. How your plants doing? Text me right now. I want to know how your plants are coming along. Something that he told me about his plants. So I'm just gonna let's call them some essential herbs. Apparently, this is what you should do for all plants, all flowers, anything. You piss in a bottle, and you dilute that by it's 1/10 or one, like, I don't know the proper words to explain it, but basically you put 10 parts water and 1 part piss, and you have to have healthy piss for this, but it's for the ammonia. I don't think is really good, but it's for nitrogen in the plant, which helps it grow. It helps it absorb sunlight, stuff like that. And that nitrogen is really good for it and really helps produce good herbs, And some stuff like that. That's just really cool to me. The fact that we're able to, as human beings, we are able to learn so much in so little time, and we're able to cultivate these plants that are wonderful, And I'm sure later in life, when I grow up, actually do something with my life, I might cut down on it a little bit, depending on whether there's recreational use and whatnot. But whatever, it is what it is. I'll play life as it goes, play it by ear. I obviously do have plans in the future. Something that my parents always tell me is never settle, and not don't settle don't settle with a house and a family. Don't settle for less than what you're capable of doing or what you want to do. They always tell me, go to culinary school or go to music school, because those are, I'm just good with that stuff, I guess. But they mean never settle in the sense that I get a job, and if I think I should always strive to do better. I should always be looking for a better job. That doesn't mean I can't stay at a job for a while, but I should never settle for something less than better. It's a weird saying, but it makes sense if you really think about it. And I was just thinking about this whole raiding the White House or whatever it is. The next Civil War is starting, guys. It's fucking crazy. Welcome to the jungle, stuff like that. It's crazy to me that people are doing this, in our day and age. It's so fucking stupid. And, I'm not going to get too in depth with it. I don't want to put my political opinions out there, and I don't want to hear about them in the comments. This is not a political podcast. So, if I talk about anything political ever, it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to represent anything. And if I talk about it in a serious manner, it's to put in completely unbiased information out there. Like I said earlier in the podcast, how I come in with unbiased opinions, because I do. But to be frank, these people are fucking idiots. I kind of just contradicted what I said, but it's not a peaceful protest anymore. This is white supremacy terrorism. And it really is. And I know they don't represent the entirety of the Republican Party. just I have friends that are Republicans, and I have friends that are, Democrats, and there's this one guy who's a libertarian. He's kind of fucking weird, but I don't really want to side with any of that, because I'm gonna be honest, I can't even fucking vote yet. So it's not that it doesn't concern me, but I'm not going to completely concern myself with who I would choose, because to be frank, they're both kind of fucking awful. So I guess that would put me in the independent party, but there's that information. And if you're the type of person to think, oh, you need to pick a side, man, or like, I'm not going to be friends with you, or like, I'm not going to be listening to this podcast because I don't support your beliefs. Okay. Does it look like I give a fuck? Like, I'm purely making this podcast for fun and mostly for my friends. If you stumble across this and you don't like it, like I fucking said in the beginning, you don't have to be here. Go do something better with your time. I'm telling you to go do something better with your time. Alright. Well, now that the fucking snowflakes are gone, let's talk about something a bit more sensitive, but also pretty funny. And by sensitive, I mean that there are a lot of fucking snowflakes out there that will just bash people on the internet. Like cancel culture, or the cancel community, like on TikTok or Instagram, any social media. The cancel community, it's way too out of hand. They think they have so much power, and they don't, because nobody cares. Anybody with a brain doesn't fucking care. Like, obviously it's different if you're on TikTok and there's like a big content creator, or any content creator that turns out to like to touch kids, like I can't name any off the top of my head, but like, I also don't want to, because I don't want people in the comments, snowflakes that might still be lingering around here. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. Leave. Fucking leave. I hate you. I fucking hate you. Anyway, those snowflakes, they really do think they have too much power over the whole fucking internet for some reason. They think that them going about their daily business, and they're the type of people that will comment on something like a risky keyboard warrior Redditor comment and correct somebody's grammar, and then they'll constantly be refreshing their notifications to see if the person replied, just so that they can do that. Like, go get a fucking life, dude. It's not that important. You've never met these people, and you're never going to. This is probably the only interaction that you're ever going to have with them. It's really not fucking worth either of your guys' time, because they probably think you're a fucking joke, because you are. But back to the sensitive stuff. Dark humor. I like dark humor. I like a lot of it, but I do have boundaries for what I will and won't say. Like, I will not talk about 9/11 unless it's a really good joke. I will not talk about pedophilia or that subject. I will not joke about that. I will not joke about suicide. I will not joke about depression. I have boundaries for good reasons. Mostly because it's fucked up. But some different stuff, like really sexist or racist shit, you can call it sexist and racist if you want, like I did, but it's really not. It's a joke. It's meant to be funny. And I get that some of you out there don't have the same humor as me, which is why I'm going to keep this podcast pretty neutral in that regard. So I'm going to keep some mind on that, I'm sure every now and then this may or may not happen. I will have an uncut version of a podcast out there, maybe an episode where I talk about some explicit shit. And that's for the people that want to listen to it, for whatever reason. But yeah, I will not be doing extremely sensitive jokes, stuff like that, and dark humor, like racism, stuff like that. I really don't think of it as racist, because it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be funny, and you say it around friends that will also think it's funny. Now, that's different if you're actually just, like, going up to a black person and saying, hey, go pick my fucking cotton, because that's not a joke. There's no punchline. there is no humor to be made. It's just fucking mean and disrespectful. But, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. And if I'm being honest, I think we got through everything that I really want to talk about for this first episode. So, yeah, this is the end right here, the end of the first episode. You asked for it, so you got it, and that's a fact. Unless you're somebody that I don't know and you didn't ask for this, but you're listening to it anyway. But if you stuck around to the end around here, we're just coming up to about 36 minutes. I'm happy for you being here. I'm glad you like the podcast, so far. I hope you like it. Definitely, if you have any suggestions, stuff that you don't like, something that I could do better, because I'm still learning this. I'm learning about all this right now. Definitely leave it in the comments, tell me what's going on. But this is the end of the first episode of the Kahuna Cast. I am your loyal host, Kahuna, and thank you for being here, and I hope to see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.